Hey, good morning and a happy new year. Welcome back to the channel. It is January the 2nd today, and among other things, this is Editor Cameron's birthday, so happy birthday, Cameron. I'm up in Bruce County, and I've been up here at the Forbes farm before. If you go back, I was out on one of their pastures in the summer a year or so ago. Anyway, what they've got going on here, they're backgrounding steers and heifers, some from the west and some of their own. And what they did this year, they built a bunker silo for corn silage. Gary's feeding them here this morning. It is darn cold. It's got a J-Lore mixer, and it's a big one. It holds, I think it's supposed to hold 12,000 pounds. He says he can get 14 in it. And what they're feeding is corn silage with a little bit of protein supplement. Baleage. We're going to get in the barn in a minute, and I'll show you what the cattle look like. They're eager, they're keen. These are pellets. I think he said they're a 13% protein pellet. Mixer has a scale on it, works really good. Then he knows exactly what he's doing. You know exactly what you're feeding. And on this farm, they're feeding twice a day, night and morning. And I asked him how many days he would get off at Christmas, and he said a half hour. That's about right, I guess. I'm here this morning with Gary Forbes. How are you, Gary?
Yeah, good, good. Just got through New Year's all right, so can't beat it.
Pretty quiet New Year's.
A very quiet New Year's.
Well, tell us about the barn, Gary.
Well, it's a wee cover structure. It's 100 by 337 center feed alley. I guess a 14-foot eave on it. 4-foot overhang, as you can see here now. We did board siding, 1.5 inch gap between the boards for ventilation. Could have gone turkey curtains, but you end up replacing them every 5 or 6 years.
I think you'll like these better than a turkey curtain.
I think so too, especially us. We only use the barn in the winter anyway. Summer, if there's a cattle in it, it'll only be half full. They don't need as much ventilation. No, it's been working good so far.
I think you'll find too, in the summer when they're in the shade, if you go down to half, you don't need any more ventilation than that.
No, even now you can feel the air movement inside the barn.
And have you got the opening at the top?
Yeah, there's 4.
That makes a big difference.
2-foot full peak opening.
Little manure storage back here.
Yeah, not enough as always, but
So where do these calves come from?
These calves all came from basically the Medicine Hat area in Alberta. There's 800 in here. What is there? I guess 7 different man's calves. Every load that we got this year was an individual owner's calves. Yeah.
So none of your own in here?
Yeah, far pen.
Oh, okay.
Our own, the biggest steers. There's 120 in there.
So what you're doing is backgrounding these?
Most of them will be they'll all be backgrounded. There's 220 here that we plan to sell in March. The rest will all go to grass. And there's a pen of heifers up there. Some of them will be bred. We'll have to see in the spring what they look like. Pick the best out and breed them. Yeah.
You look pretty happy, Gary.
They seem to be.
Yeah. So would they come in weighing?
Most of the ones on this side of the barn were under 5. And then this side were, I think the heaviest was about 550. Other than our own steer calves at the far end, they were about 680.
So is it because you're calving earlier?
No, we don't calve till April. You just out west with the drought conditions, these calves
it was
are all
dry. Yeah.
Yeah, we buy these same people's calves every year, and they're 50 pounds lighter than usual.
Because of the dry weather.
Yeah, yeah. A lot of them were anyway.
This inside feeding up here with the snow,
Well,
it's the only way to go.
I don't know if you got a picture of outside there. That was just an inch of snow that was on the roof, and it's piled up
Yeah.
that high already, and you'd have to clean that every day. So, no, I'm glad we did this.
So how often do you clean them out?
Right now we're doing about every 10 days. Actually, tomorrow's the day that we're going to clean them again.
Well, they're not bad then if tomorrow's the clean out day.
Yeah. No, we've been playing around. New building, didn't know exactly what to expect, but 10 days seems to work so far. We've been using sawdust on them.
Yeah, you're lucky you got a
mill
source
nut.
right close.
Yeah, it's only about 10 minutes up the road. We have enough. I think we have enough straw if we have to use it.
Straw makes a lot of manure too.
Yeah, it adds up in a hurry. Yeah, and I don't think it would last as long as what the sawdust does either. We'd have to clean more often.
So you're feeding twice a day?
I feed twice a day, yeah.
So you give them the same amount night and morning pretty
Yep.
much?
Yeah, try to anyway. Most days they have it cleaned up by the time I get here. If not, I'll back off. But, Right now they're eating roughly 36 pounds a piece.
Well, they look really good, I think, anyway.
I think they're doing well.
Yeah. They'll like this cold weather too, don't they?
Yeah, they do. Yeah. They'll be healthier once it does turn cold and stay cold.
So do you think the barn has lessened your chores or made more chores?
Oh, it's definitely lessened for me. Yeah, it takes the same amount of time to feed these 800 that I was feeding 300 before. Yeah, we'll just see when I got to start moving snow around whether it still takes this.
So you were saying out west it seemed like a lot of the cows were going to market?
There was a lot of cows going to market this year. Yeah.
Because of the drought or?
Mostly, yeah. They didn't have feed to put them through, so you've got to go. Same with all the ranchers were selling all their calves this year instead of keeping back and feeding themselves.
Normally they would background on themselves.
Some, yeah, they keep some of the smaller ones, and they keep heifers for breeding purposes and whatnot.
They're not keeping anything.
Not as many anyway. Anybody that didn't have irrigated land was in tough shape this year.
Yeah, you were saying somebody got 6 bales off 100 acres?
Yeah, 8 bales.
8 bales off 100 acres.
Yeah.
Well, there'd be places a baler wouldn't pick anything up.
Oh no, they'd be throwing more.
Yeah,
throwing
just
in the air instead of picking it up. Yeah, it's not a good situation. And if they don't get snow this winter, all their dugouts will be dry.
Yeah.
Come spring.
Well, this is quite a barn, eh, boy.
Yeah, we're happy with it so far. Little things that we would change if we were doing it again, but I think we'll get some welders in here next summer again, and we can fix a couple of them up.
Oh,
just putting hinges on opposite sides of the gates so that when you're moving the cattle, you can just follow them with the gate.
Yeah, that's pretty minor.
Yeah. There's been nothing major that we've really found yet.
So, what's the program when you bring them in? What do you do?
When they get here, we try to the same day as we unload the truck, process them. They get black leg, vitamin A, D, and E, Shield. What else?
They get anything for
Ivamec.
Ivamec.
Yeah.
Well, Ivamec, then that would help them for COVID. Isn't that what they do?
That's what they claim. Yeah. Let's just spill a little bit on ourselves every day, and
you'd be all set.
Been good.
So then, do you run these through again?
We won't run them through again until spring now, and when we do,
before they go out on grass.
Yeah, we'll reworm them again with a long range product. Yeah. We don't use implants. Just quit using them a few years ago.
I don't either. I don't know. I think the consumer likes that.
Yeah, it depends on who you talk to. Some don't care and some do, but the less that you put into them, I think the better it is.
Well, and they always told me that when your implant runs out, you've got to be right there to put the next one in. Mm-hmm. And if, say, your implant's good for only 100 days, you got to run them all through again.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that's great. Well, anything else, Gary? Fun and games?
Oh, yeah. Go and start feeding the cows now, I guess.
I come by here yesterday and was it yesterday or the day before? It doesn't matter. Gary was making feed. Tyson was hauling manure. I called it the circle of life.
Yeah. Yeah. Get some nutrients back in the land, and especially with the price of fertilizer this spring, it'll
Makes a big difference.
Oh yeah, we'll use as much as we can.
Yep. Well, great. Thanks, Gary.
Yep.
Thanks for
Dennis.
taking the time. I'll maybe get back again when they're bigger. Anyway,
Yeah, that could be tomorrow.
Yeah, it could be.
They're growing so fast.
Anyway, if you've liked this video, give us a like. And if you haven't subscribed, now would be a good time. And catch you on the next one.